So what do we got here? Well, those of you who are in the know, you'll see it's yellow. So that makes it a 1978 TT 500. What do we got? Part 1's loaded, part 2 got lost in the computer. It will be uploaded soon. Homemade running lights. They're 6-volt lights out of a flashlight. That's all I'm running right now. Here. Nice and bright. Fairly intense. I definitely see it coming. I don't know if you can see the spots on the road right now, even in daylight. You know what, you can, but I'll tell you right now, I know this camera with light, it won't pick that up. Anyway, that's those. This other guy's another one for off-road. 7,500 lumen, triple beam. All 3 beams come on with each setting. There's like a low, medium, and a high beam. So that bad boy is my toolkit. Cannot tell you what it came off of. I've had that thing for years. It's been on my trials bike. It was on my XR200. It's been on this. It's been on my YZ125. Never made its way onto the OSA, but it's been on everything I've ever had, pretty much. So that's the front end, basically. Standard incandescent bulb blinker. Basically an XT500 type, Yamaha type replica. Front tire is still a 90-90-21. It's an old Metzler Sahara. Excellent tires, I gotta say. That's old. All I'm gonna say about that one is it's a 3-digit date code, so you know it's old. Front fender's a UFO fender, painted yellow. You can see it's the old style one where it's actually more like a 16-inch style fender. Don't know what I can do there yet, but there's a new fender coming in the works at some point. There's my little bell. You can see it's right out in the open. There it sits right there. St. Columbus. Patron saint of motorcycles. There she is. It just sits right there. Keeps me safe. Check out, I'll put a link down below. Check out the story with that. I filmed earlier today. That'll be on YouTube as well. What else have we got here? Well, I've painted the bash pan underneath. The yellow to match. I made, that's out of aluminum, flat aluminum. I rolled it on a tube, basically hammer forged it, cold forged it, and then drilled the holes, mounted it, and that's that. Side covers, they're just a regular old stock side cover, just painted the same yellow to match. Rear pegs, TTs never came with a rear peg, so it's just a nut right in there, welded to the swing arm in roughly the same position that you'd have on an XT. And then these were off of, I think it was an old CB 750, I think it was. Flipped side for side so they kick back a little bit. My wife's fairly tall. That was too far forward for her. Disadvantage, she gets more travel on the swing arm that way. But because she's taller, she can actually sit on it and not be all scrunched up. Moving up to the pipe, that's a homemade system altogether. We're factory to about midship behind the cover, and then it jumps up to 1.5-inch pipe. Then at the very back, there's 2 bells, 1.5 to 2.5, 2.5 to 3-inch, and then I've got, 22? Well, it's a car. I think it's 22 diffusers or 24 diffusers from a Super Trap put in there. And then I've drilled the end plate or cap or whatever a couple times too to allow a little bit more pressure out of there. Moving to the back tire, it's a little bit bigger. It's a 130/80/18. That is an excellent tire, I have to say. That's equally as old. It's a 3-digit date code. That one's a GP110 made by IRC. I got nothing bad to say about it. It's an excellent tire. It's hard as a rock because it's so old, so I recut the treads to try to soften it up for the winter. Man, it held up all winter. Excellent tire. No bad about that one at all. Hey, we're back. Moving to the back of the bike here. Gone with a UFO fender, mounted in there. I trimmed it up a little bit to properly fit, and then moved into my LEDs. These center 2 LEDs are my tail light, and then these outer 4, 2 on each side, become the brake light. So the whole thing lights up. It's nice and bright. Can't miss it. These little guys are my Made blinkers. It's out of a piece of PVC tube and the same LED style, but in orange. Those lights are really cool because they work on both 12 volt and 6 volt. Excellent. There'll be more on those later. A little bag here at the back, made by Saddleman. If you're looking for a small bag, recommend Saddleman. You cannot beat them. That thing's been in all kinds of weather, and there's no rust, no fatigue, nothing. Excellent, excellent bag. Sprockets. 16 on the front, 42 on the rear, I believe it is, or maybe even a 40. Nah, 40, I apologize. I was trying to go to a 38 and I went to the 40, that's what it was. So 16 and a 40. I love it. It's excellent gearing. Third gear is the workhorse. You blip the thing up on the highway, click it into fourth, and you're gone. If you don't have a passenger, click it into fifth, you can ride all the way up to 65, 70 miles an hour, no problem. Keep in mind I have a slight taller tire as well, but that's only talking a mile an hour, maybe 2. So no big deal there. Shocks, those are still a stock shock. Getting a little bit old, spring-wise, but the shock self, still good. Side cover, this one had some damage, so it was a great place to put the key anyway. Behind that cover is the charging system. I'll get into that later. This side of the bag, there's nothing really to report. Just a regular old inline filter, straight to the regular TT carb that I've rejetted and rejetted and rejetted and rejetted. Try to get this thing ready for the street. Up on the handlebars, first generation XT multi-switch, handlebar switch. You got horn, blinker, high-low, headlight on and off. Nothing on this side. The kill switch disappeared, and that came up here in the headlight on a toggle. Took out the high beam indicator light, thread in a toggle switch. I like it better. Gauges are off of an old XS650, so of course red line and all that sort of stuff's not right. Had to make a loop to mount them. This will eventually change, hence why all the wires and stuff are still exposed. The bike's still basically being built, so that's why all that stuff's out and about. Then we make our way back to the front. That's her. That's the bike.